Mr. Morgenstern is here. Andrew Keller, County Administrator, and Missy Houghton is here as well. I believe on the line we have Al Lawrence from the News Journal, Carl from Richland Source, and Greg, is that you from WMFD?
That's me.
And we also have.
That is me.
Okay, thank you. And we also have one other person. Could you identify yourself, sir, ma'am? We don't have the whole phone number, I believe, on the screen. Okay, well, we have a mystery person online.
Hi, yeah, this is Kurt Braden with Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost.
Oh, good morning, Kurt. How are you?
Good morning, Commissioners. Very
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. You're certainly welcome to be here. Well, our first order of business is to discuss a couple of things with our dog warden, Missy Houghton. We're going to talk about adoption fees and dog return policy and other things that I talked about on the phone last night with them. I didn't agree with some of our policies, but Missy, if I could turn that over to you.
Yes. So right now we are currently over capacity at our shelter. We have 101 dog cages. When I left today, we had 119 dogs. So we are looking at ways that we can try and move dogs through our facility a little bit quicker. We have the average length of stay, and this is based on last year's numbers, was 22 days for our dogs, average length of stay. However, we do have some dogs that have been there over a year. We have several dogs that are approaching a year, and we have some that are that have been there over 9 months, 6 months, things of that nature. So what I would like to do in order to kind of move them through, especially some of our longtime dogs, I would like to look at approaching it in a tiered adoption fee. So the dogs that have been there over a year, we'd like to offer them as available for adoption for $50. Dogs that have been there for over 6 months, $100. Dogs that have been there for over 3 months, $125. Dogs that have been there under 3 months, $150. At the time that I composed the letter, we had 2 dogs that had been there for over a year, 22 dogs that had been there over 6 months, 25 dogs that had been there over 3 months, and 44 dogs that had been there under 3 months. So I'm hoping that that might help motivate some of the people to look at some of our dogs that have been there a little bit longer, so that the length that we can start to move some of those a little bit quicker. The average cost for us to care for a dog per day is $15.69. So for over that length of stay, it comes to $345 and some on change per dog. We also, a rough estimate per dog is an additional $3.89 for what we get donated in. Last year we spent
Yeah, I had a question on that. You had 408.27 with donations. Does that mean like people give food? I wasn't sure if you were trying to say, hey, it's actually 408.27, but thanks to donations, it's 345.33. Or are those, what do we say, kickers or add-ons to that cost amount?
So with what, like the donations that I was adding in is like that we haven't paid for dog food since I've taken over being the dog warden. All of that has been donated, our dry and.
So the actual cost is actually more than $15.70 a day.
And then we haven't paid for any vet care through Phillips Animal Hospital. Last year, we spent, our bill there was over $20,000, but that has all been covered by donations.
So true cost is $18.55, but with donations, it's $15.70.
Yes, and that's not even factoring in all of the volunteer hours that we get. Never bought treats. We don't buy toys. We don't buy any enrichment things.
These are direct costs of the dog. This doesn't include like labor and overhead.
No, that is including labor and overhead. That's,
okay.
Yeah, that's what the county is paying, but that doesn't include all the things that the volunteers in the community is giving to help enrich the dogs.
I'm gonna ask a dumb question here. 432 dogs were redeemed.
Mhm.
That mean?
Their owners came and got them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
So the dog got away, ran away.
And then their owners came and picked them up. Mhm. So nationwide, what basically is happening is adoptions are roughly staying the same, but the dogs are staying longer in the facility. But the dogs are coming in quicker than they are going out and they're staying longer. So that's why we're all nationwide seeing this capacity happening in our facilities. So that is what I am looking for in the tiered, is hoping to move some of these guys through to get some of our long timers out, which in turn will reduce the ones that we have there that are showing some of the poor behaviors where they start to get, they spin in their cage, they start to get kind of aggression towards the front of the cage. They're not aggressive towards people. They just have pent up energy from being in their kennels too long. And then it will help give breaks to the staff if we have lower numbers in there. Obviously, they were cleaning until 3:30 yesterday. They start cleaning at 8:30. So we're hoping if we can reduce the numbers, that'll reduce the stress that we have on the staff. It will reduce the stress that we have on volunteers. We have volunteers that come in every day to walk the dogs, so we can ensure every dog gets out of their kennel every single day. We have one volunteer that is in there from 8:30 to 4:30 every single day, so she can make sure every single dog gets walked. So, and then we rotate dogs out into the play yard and things like that. So, but we're trying to look at ways to move them through that we can ensure less time in the shelter and just a better stay overall. I wanted to revisit the return policy. Right now, what our return policy is you can return a dog in 10 days for signs of aggression or terminal illness or at the discretion of the dog warden. I would like to look at that a little bit further before we bring that up. So I'd like to table that a little bit, if that's okay.
We should note that this tiered adoption is a pretty substantial hit in revenue. Now that could be offset by shorter dog stays. We need a lot shorter dog stays to get to that $25,000 mark. So Missy estimated that this tiered adoption structure, well, I do think, you know, Missy, Andrew and I had talked about it before we presented to the board. I do think this could help incentivize the adoption of dogs. It's probably about a $25,000 hit to the revenue side of the adoption fees. So this is pretty substantial in a razor thin budget, and that's razor thin in light of the fact that they no longer have a debt payment of about $100,000, a little less this year. I was looking this morning. So,
And that's not gonna be offset by dog food because you don't buy any.
No, I mean, we've cut everywhere that we can cut, and we get everything donated that we can get donated. So, I mean, and we're lucky the community donates as much. We had one of our dryers break down, and we had somebody donate a dryer within 3 hours of us posting that our dryer broke. So we get everything that we can, you know, donated to save our budget as much as we can.
I talked to Missy this morning. I said, should we approve this? I asked that she submit with Chelsea a new budget summary. Because they probably had the most adjustments in terms of salaries, the debt payment, this potential, so I'd want to see a budget summary. They're out of all our departments, they probably had the most substantive changes. So I'd certainly want to see how the budget is looking like.
How it's faring.
And we'll get a chance through Q1 of 2023 too, to see where it's at. So I've asked Missy, should we approve it to resubmit a budget summary?
Quality of dog life should improve
Yes,
if people will.
if we can get them out, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, and that's a huge goal. Is that we need their lives to improve, and a shelter should never be a long-term stay. It should be a brief stopping point from point A to point B.
And feedback, I assume you have from the public saying, gee, I'd like to have this dog, but I really can't swing the $150.
That's always been you know, when we say that we're full is lower adoption fees. My thought policy is that essentially the dog is free in our adoption fee, even though our adoption fee currently is $175. With that $175, you are getting the spay and neuter of the dog. You are getting the dog's license. You are getting a microchip. You are getting the first round of vaccines. you are getting deworming, you are getting flea treatment and tick treatment. If we see that on the dog, you are also getting any medical care taken care of that dog. If we see it, we currently have a 8-month-old Chihuahua that has 2 broken back legs, and that surgery is going to be treated for, and that cost is not being carried over to the new owner.
You're getting a dog in about as good as shape you can get if you adopt from the county dog ward, so.
Commissioners adopt this tiered structure, all of that,
Is included.
$50.
Yeah.
Right,
The dog's
so-
been there over a year, which is
Yeah.
really unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, we do as much as we possibly can for the dogs for not having a full-time vet on staff. I think with the budget that we have and the constraints that we have, I think that what I hear from the community and from what the people come in is that they are blown away by what our county facility offers in comparison to many other larger facilities.
You're seeking an approval from us on the tiered structure.
I am, yep.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes,
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Barrow.
Yes.
you're doing a remarkable job, Missy. I think everyone connected. Is that?
Well, I have we have one of the best staffs that I think I've seen. They all are there, not for the money, because they love what they do. And then we have a great group of volunteers who are all there because they love what they do. It's,
Where's Chelsea?
She back full time now?
thank God.
Are you saying Dane was a weak link? Please say you're saying that. So I could tell him that.
Oh, you don't have to. I mean, I did almost daily.
Okay.
So even when he's gone now, I'm still just like, Chelsea's back. And I have to say, I'm so glad because you were a poor shadow of a replacement for her. But yes, she is back and she is never allowed to leave me for that long ever again.
We know you're speaking well of Chelsea, but and I'm sure you do really appreciate Dean coming back.
It was so much, it was nice to have him back, and he has a wealth of knowledge and experience that is an amazing thing to be able to draw on. And I still do call him for a lot of policy and procedure, and he just knows so many things.
Don't compliment him on the record.
Take
Happened.
the record.
If it happens again, I'm sure we'll be calling it.
Yes, but no, I really, Chelsea is an integral part to the team, and it's great to have her.
Let's see, when do you think you can have a new budget summary in light of today's?
Hopefully by the end of the week.
Be back at some other future date to talk about the return policy.
But I don't like to be away too long.
He loves us.
I do. I want you guys to see me. I don't want you to miss me too much.
So that means like we're lovable like your dogs, right?
Right, yes, yes,
Just want to make that.
absolutely. I mean, and if you guys want dogs, we have,
Been around longer than others.
I mean.
Yeah, some of the old dogs have been here more than how many years?
Overcharged.
All right.
Carl, questions?
Yeah, thank you. Missy, how do your adoption costs compare to contiguous counties like Knox, Ashland, Crawford?
So they're fairly, the ones that are closest to us, we're pretty much the same. I know I just spoke to Ashland County. Theirs were a little bit less than ours, but they are raising them to be more comparable. The ones that I found that are significantly less than ours have either a veterinarian on staff that performs the spay and neuters free, or they have a program that has learning vets that are doing the spay and neuters free of charge or very low cost.
Okay, and from just a pure math standpoint, 119 dogs, 101 cages, how are you maintaining 18 extra dogs? Where are you keeping them?
We have dogs in our food room, we have dogs in our playroom, we have dogs in our clinic, and we have rolling dog cages that we are putting dogs in that we typically use for our spay neuter days. So we have them kind of tucked everywhere. We did have a dog that was staying up front in our office, so she just got adopted yesterday. So we find a lot of nooks and crannies.
You should go out there, Carl. It truly is dog palooza.
It is,
Well,
it is.
I was out there for dog Easter palooza, so you know.
Yeah,
Um,
we've got more though.
At what point, if the overcrowding continues, and I know this is a third rail topic nobody wants to talk about, but at some point, do you have to, and do the commissioners have to reconsider the whole no-kill shelter kind of stance?
Andrew, Missy and I talked about that. We're gonna continue to do everything we can to maintain what we would deem a no-kill dog warden. So we're not even entertaining that possibility right now. We'll never say never, but I think that's one of the reasons why we have such good community support is the ability to maintain that status. And I think this is an attempt by Missy to get creative and proactive to ensure we maintain that status. So the long answer is we're not even entertaining that possibility at this time.
For right now, what we're doing, our policy is we do not adopt out dangerous dogs. We do not adopt out dogs that are behaviorally unsound and dogs that the vet deem is suffering or it is medically necessary.
Okay. One of the question just went right through the back of my head. I'll let Al and Greg go ahead while I try to figure out what it was I was about to ask.
Okay.
All right. What do you think, Al? Any questions?
One thing I want to clarify, you've been talking about a $25,000 figure. Was that the hit that your income is going to take with this revised schedule?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And that's why you're asking for a revised budget then, Tony?
Well, that you got to remember, Al, we also took care of the taxpayers took care of the debt payment. She also has another part-time deputy. So those are some pretty major changes that impact some of the bigger line items. So we would like to see a revised budget summary to best plan accordingly as to how the year will end.
Okay, that's the only question I had. Thank you.
Okay, Greg. Anything further?
Missy,
Yes.
can you hear me? It's Greg from WMFD. Would it be okay for us to swing by this afternoon to get a face-to-face interview and film some of your dogs?
Sure.
Okay? We will stop by.
Sounds good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I remember my question.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Okay, Missy, if I've had at least one dog for 26 years now. If people
That's a very
can't,
old dog.
well, yeah, there's been a couple of them along the way.
Okay.
They're kind of like the UGA mascots down in Georgia. They're up to like UGA 9 at this point. But
Okay.
if people can't afford the adoption fee that you have now,
Mhm.
I mean, I love dogs, but they are not cheap. They're a cost center, and I'm looking at mine right now, and she's nodding her head. Are you worried that they're going to get a dog at a lower rate and not be able to keep it? And is this going to increase recidivism? I mean, how do you handle that thought?
We can't police everybody and their and what they're doing in their finances. People can go and get free dogs from anywhere. And, we can't control that either and what they're going to do. We just have to believe that people know their finances and that they have the best of intentions when they adopt dogs from us and, hope for the best and just prepare for everything as it comes our way. But overall, people, I think when they adopt from us or any shelter, they have the best intentions. And, most people, when they take on a dog, they plan to make that dog part of their family. And, that's what they intend to do. And we're just hopeful that we can help make that happen.
All right, just lastly, then along those lines, what is the recidivism rate? I mean, what percentage of dogs that you adopt out do come back? And is that number going up, down, or staying the same?
I have not tracked that. It's hard for us to track that because we don't have a program where we can keep track of that. So it's all paper. So it would just be off the top of my head, and I don't think I could give you a clear answer on that one.
That's why the commissioners are gonna buy that new expensive software program.
The
so we can-
taxpayers
Yeah.
are buying it, Carl, not the
Oh, yeah,
commissioners,
yeah,
the taxpayers.
But then I would have a snappy answer for you and I could get that for you in just a few clicks of a button.
Well, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate the commissioner spending the taxpayers' money on dogs. So that's all I had. Thanks.
Thank you.
Not once did anybody call me the big red dog.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks, Missy. Thanks for coming.
Problem.
Hey. I have a motion to certify the record of proceedings for April 13th.
Just a quick grammar correction. First one on the tape where we're talking about Bob Bianchi, it says statistics unknown and a no safety concern. I think you meant to say known safety concern, so that would be my amendment.
I will second.
Mears. Mr. Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
A motion to approve requisitions.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
We have before us a request to authorize a truck purchase for wastewater. I know Amanda's done a lot of research on this. She found a truck under market value. I know Andrew and I have talked about this and looked at how she can get this. We got all the detail behind it. I don't know that we need any further discussion between you and I. And we've talked about this significantly. I have a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
We have a request to approve 4 utility permit applications from Spectrum. This one is Horning Road, Myers Road, Rock Road, Hook Road, and Settlement East Road.
We'll probably do all four
All
together.
4 ones? Okay.
Benison.
I'll call for,
I will make the motion that we approve all 4 permits outlined in
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
yes.
Commissioner Banks,
yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes, and along those lines, Mr. Keller will have some good news coming our way finally from Spectrum on the broadband expansion we approved what seemed to be 18 centuries ago. So ARPA. So stay tuned. I almost fell out of my chair when he called me yesterday. Just every time you check, and Andrew has done an excellent job, but we are happy to report that in the very near future, 748 structures, parcels, whatever you want to refer to it as, will have the availability to obtain broadband. So that is excellent news. And stay tuned for that.
Between legal counsel and the US Treasury, sometimes things move slow, don't they? Is there any other business to conduct before we adjourn for some discussions with Josh Hicks and building maintenance?
Just real quick, I want to make sure you guys did not vote on Missy's suggestion or proposal today, right?
No, we did approve the tiered adoption structure. We did not do anything at this time with the return policy. She's going to look at a couple more things and come back with a recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else, folks?
Yeah, I've, on that truck purchase, what's the cost and where are you getting it from?
We are getting that for the cost of 67,000. Oh, wait, we're back up here.
Yeah.
Actually 54 something, right?
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, for the
54,570. And it's in the wastewater capital improvement fund.
Craig Smith Chevrolet.
right, state procurement contract would have been 67,130. I mentioned she got it well under market, so yeah. What we're buying is the same truck essentially for 54,570, about a $1,000 bargain. And that is a for the detail on it. A Chevy Silverado 2023 four-wheel drive crew cab.
That is a bargain with today's car prices.
It's a bargain, yeah, and she was able to get it right away. We had to move quickly, and that's because of what the market is telling us these days.
I just
Anything else?
noticed all that paperwork that the attorneys produce for you to read through.
Actually, it was the dealership there.
Oh,
Wrong
okay.
again.
I was just trying to poke some fun at you and Keller.
You lose.
Yeah,
That's
by the
all
way,
I
that was
had. Thank you.
from Craig Smith, Deputy Dealer. Okay, any other questions, comments, observations before we recess for 4 minutes? Okay, hearing none, it's 9. It is 10 o'clock. The Richland County Board of Commissioners is back in session. I will point out also joining us is Adam Gumpf, Public Affairs Liaison, Office of the Ohio Treasurer out of Columbus. So welcome, Adam. Glad you've joined us. And we also have Josh Hicks here to talk about a number of maintenance issues. Josh, stage is yours. Tanya.
All right, we'll start off with the Corson presented. Determined there was needing to be some repairs done at the jail. Kind of panel is on the fritz for some reason. 15 years old. They're gonna have to install a new circuit board and reprogram the system.
And it's how much?
$20,394,
This obviously isn't budgeted, correct?
correct? Completely unforeseen.
Well, we have a little over 9 million in our capital improvements projects. I checked this morning in light of the request. Obviously, we need to do this with this time I'll make a motion to pay for that out of our Fund 100, which is our Richland reinvestment or our capital improvements fund.
Second that.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes,
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
can't very well say no to that request, can they? Next item, Josh?
So some doors needing replaced at title and engineering building. There's one there. We looked at just replacing the hinges and the crash bar, but it was gonna be just efficient to replace the whole door. It's $3,440.
That would come out of either auto title or engineer, correct? Their funds.
Good peoples.
Coming from Josh's maintenance repair funds.
Title's got money. That,
It's our building.
they have money.
Josh?
$3,440 for that building.
Just for,
Just.
I put people,
Okay. That's what I want.
But the one I'm looking at is
And then there's,
title's 3440.
yes.
correct.
The People's Marshal, then we get,
And there's 3 doors at the People's Building. And these were brought up
Okay.
Brought up by IT.
by IT.
we make Matt Hill pay for that then?
I think we should.
Hope it all into his big project.
Good grief. So if I'm looking at that, the total of People's is 5379, correct?
No.
Huh?
Turn it over. Turn it over.
There it is.
Different doors.
8394, and then the other one's 3440. Those are in your maintenance repair line item? No, they're in the line item. Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yeah.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
And you're also asking for a seasonal worker, right?
Yeah, that was budgeted. Guys for somebody.
Motion to authorize the advertising.
Second.
I said that union has approved.
Yep.
This is for what period of time, Josh?
14 weeks.
14 weeks during the summer.
Summer work, baby. You
So
in?
I'm figuring like the week after Memorial Day, 14 weeks puts us approximately mid-August.
$15 an hour.
Made the motion.
I second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes. I had someone drive by the building last night and snap a picture of the globe lights and said the building has never looked better. So just want to thank you, Josh. How it looks, the trees aren't even blooming yet. The building does look good. I've never even been a fan of the architectural style, but I think with the globe lights and the trees and some of the things, I don't think the building has ever looked better. So I just wanted to publicly thank you for the work you did. And we have a working clock too. So,
And we're going to, the flower beds, the big giant ashtrays.
Yep.
The ashtrays will be removed. And, we're going to put, Josh and I think that we should stamp in, since we have all the memorials out front, we can stamp in the logos of, that's the right word for the Army, Navy.
Branches of
Marine
service.
branches.
By branches of service equals 6, so there's a
660,000 or 600.
Oh, no.
6,600
There you go.
more than what we have already budgeted for the concrete. So
these look so good. Quote, architecturally, it is really happy. This looks so great. Thank you. So sharing that as I receive.
tell them we said you're welcome.
There's branches.
Got emails from Tony.
I texted myself. It's from Kathy Goldman.
So the branches of service is doable. Do we know that they can do this?
Yeah, they can do it. That was added in, that was an option on the
Yes,
quote.
I saw that. Do we have a time frame when you're thinking of
So they told me
this summer, maybe?
they told me you could do it end of May, first part of June to tear that out.
Same company that did this. They do a good job.
So do we have any questions? Al? Still there, Al? Any of these maintenance items?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
My finger just does not work well on a touch screen. The part-time help, Josh, what general help, mowing, what kind of work?
Yeah, it'll be a lot of mowing. It'll be general help with the maintenance crew, but mainly helping the mowing.
Okay, and on those doors, the one at the title, I mean, is it a worn out door?
Well, the problem is the key lock, it's not working right. So it's just got to be replaced, and to replace it, nothing was going to line up. So we were going to have holes in the doors. So that was the kind of the deciding factor to just put a new door in.
So that was almost the easiest, cheapest way then.
Correct.
Like the $850,000 tunnel.
Yeah, okay. And then you said the ones at Peoples were security. In other words, it doesn't match what IT is looking to do security wise there, or?
With the update of their security systems, there was some stuff needing changed. And then there was just some doors that were worn out.
Okay. All right, that's all I had.
Carl, what you got?
Yeah, I know, when Josh was talking about something being on the fritz at the jail, my sound was on the fritz. What exactly has to be replaced and what was the price on it again?
So it's the fire panel, the jail. And it's 23,000. $23,394.
Okay, and what are they doing in the interim? Is it working at all, or what are they doing in the interim in terms of safety for the inmates with that panel being on the fritz?
They're getting by.
Okay, thanks.
Greg?
He's gone.
Probably on the way to the dog warden.
Any other further business to conduct? Well, thank you for joining us, Kurt. Online, is he still there?
Nope.
Oh, he's gone too. Okay. Seeing no other business, the Richland County Board of Commissioners stands adjourned at 10:10.
Thank you.